Imagine a world where quantum computers have fully replaced classical computers. A technological leap so profound that it would reshape every facet of our lives, industries, and society as a whole. To truly understand the magnitude of this transformation, we must first grasp what sets quantum computers apart from their classical predecessors. Classical computers, the machines that have powered our digital age for decades, rely on bits. Units of information that can be either a 0 or a 1. Quantum computers, on the other hand, are built on quantum bits, or qubits, which can exist in a superposition of both 0 and 1 simultaneously. This fundamental difference enables quantum computers to process information in ways previously thought impossible. In a world where quantum computers have replaced classical computers, the pace of innovation would accelerate at an unprecedented rate. Tasks that currently demand immense computational resources, such as simulating complex chemical reactions, optimizing global supply chains, or breaking cryptographic codes, would become routine. Research and development in pharmaceuticals, materials science, and energy could proceed at speeds that defy imagination. For example, designing new drugs, which now requires years of trial and error, could be condensed into a matter of days or even hours, as quantum computers model and predict molecular interactions with extraordinary accuracy. The result would be a surge in medical breakthroughs, potentially eradicating diseases that have long plagued humanity. Artificial intelligence and machine learning would undergo a dramatic transformation. Today, training large neural networks requires vast amounts of data and processing power, often limited by the constraints of classical hardware. With quantum computers, these limitations would vanish. Machine learning algorithms could explore exponentially more possibilities, uncovering patterns and insights hidden deep within data. This would lead to smarter, more adaptive AI systems capable of understanding context, reasoning with nuance, and learning from experience in ways that resemble human cognition. Applications ranging from autonomous vehicles to personalized healthcare would see quantum leaps in capability and reliability. The realm of cybersecurity would be both revolutionized and challenged. Quantum computers have the power to break many of the cryptographic systems that currently protect our data, financial transactions, and communications. Encryption algorithms such as RSA and ECC, considered unbreakable by classical computers, would become vulnerable. However, this threat would be matched by the advent of quantum-safe cryptography, new mathematical techniques designed to withstand the power of quantum attacks. The race to secure digital infrastructure would be relentless, and the transition to quantum-resistant systems would be one of the most urgent tasks for governments, corporations, and individuals. Financial markets would also experience profound change. Quantum algorithms could analyze vast datasets, predict market trends, and execute trades at lightning speed, making markets more efficient and potentially more volatile. Risk assessment, fraud detection, and economic modeling would reach new heights of sophistication. Investors, banks, and regulators would need to adapt rapidly to the new quantum-driven landscape, where traditional strategies might no longer suffice. The democratization of powerful computational tools could also level the playing field, allowing smaller players to compete with established giants. In logistics and transportation, quantum computers would optimize routes, schedules, and supply chains with extraordinary precision. The movement of goods and people could be planned in real time, accounting for millions of variables, minimizing delays, reducing costs, and maximizing efficiency. Urban planning, traffic management, and resource allocation would become dynamic processes, constantly adapting to changing conditions. The result would be cities that function more smoothly, with less congestion and greater sustainability. Climate science and environmental management would benefit immensely. Quantum computers could simulate global climate systems, model the effects of interventions, and predict long-term changes with unprecedented accuracy. This would empower policymakers to make informed decisions, devise effective mitigation strategies, and respond quickly to emerging threats. Renewable energy grids, carbon capture technologies, and disaster response systems would become smarter, more resilient, and better able to safeguard the planet. Education would transform as well. Quantum-powered learning platforms could tailor content to individual students, adapting in real time to their strengths, weaknesses, and interests. Complex subjects such as mathematics, physics, and computer science could be made more accessible through interactive simulations and instant feedback. The democratization of education would accelerate, closing gaps between regions and socioeconomic groups and unlocking human potential on a global scale. The entertainment industry would see new forms of creativity and interactivity. Quantum computers could generate rich, immersive virtual worlds in real time, responding to user actions with lifelike realism. Music, art, and storytelling would evolve in ways that blur the boundaries between creator and audience. Personalized experiences would become the norm, as algorithms craft content uniquely suited to each individual's tastes and preferences. However, the transition from classical to quantum computing would not be without challenges. The very nature of quantum hardware is delicate and complex. Qubits are susceptible to environmental disturbances, requiring extreme conditions such as low temperatures and isolation from external noise. Developing reliable, scalable quantum devices would demand enormous resources and ingenuity. The infrastructure supporting classical computers, millions of servers, data centers, and networks, would need to be reimagined. The workforce would require retraining, as the skills needed to harness quantum technology differ fundamentally from those used in classical computing. The impact on privacy and surveillance would be profound. Quantum computers could analyze and correlate vast amounts of personal data, raising ethical questions about consent, transparency, and control. The power to decrypt private communications could be misused by malicious actors or authoritarian regimes. Safeguarding individual freedoms in the quantum era would require vigilant oversight, robust legal frameworks, and a commitment to human rights. Society's relationship with technology would evolve. The mysteries of quantum mechanics, once the domain of physicists and mathematicians, would become part of everyday life. Concepts such as superposition, entanglement, and quantum tunneling would enter the public consciousness, inspiring new ways of thinking about reality, causality, and information. The boundary between science fiction and science fact would blur, as quantum-powered devices unlock possibilities previously confined to imagination. The economy would undergo a seismic shift. Industries that depend on computational power, such as finance, healthcare, logistics, and manufacturing, would see explosive growth. New fields would emerge, centered around quantum software, hardware, and services. The demand for quantum-literate professionals would soar, creating opportunities for education and employment. At the same time, traditional sectors could be disrupted, requiring adaptation and innovation to remain relevant. Global competition would intensify. Nations investing in quantum technology would gain strategic advantages, potentially reshaping the balance of power. International cooperation would be essential to address shared challenges and prevent the misuse of quantum capabilities. The risk of a quantum arms race, where states compete to develop ever more powerful quantum systems, would loom large. Establishing norms, treaties, and mechanisms for collaboration would be crucial to ensuring that quantum computing serves the common good. The implications for science would be breathtaking. Quantum computers could solve problems that have eluded researchers for generations. The search for new materials, the exploration of fundamental physics, and the decoding of complex biological systems would accelerate. Questions about the nature of consciousness, the origins of the universe, and the limits of computation could be explored with new tools and perspectives. The boundaries of human knowledge would expand, revealing deeper layers of reality. Everyday life would be transformed. Smartphones, appliances, and personal devices would become quantum-powered, offering capabilities that anticipate needs, optimize performance, and enhance well-being. Virtual assistants would evolve into true partners, capable of understanding context, emotions, and subtleties. Healthcare devices could monitor, diagnose, and treat conditions in real time, providing proactive care and personalized recommendations. The convenience, efficiency, and insight offered by quantum technology would raise expectations and standards across society. Yet, with great power comes great responsibility. The potential for misuse, inequality, and unintended consequences would require thoughtful governance and ethical reflection. The transition to a quantum world would challenge existing norms, values, and institutions. Navigating this transformation would demand wisdom, foresight, and a commitment to shared prosperity. In summary, the replacement of classical computers by quantum computers would represent a paradigm shift, a leap into a new era of possibility. The speed, efficiency, and intelligence unlocked by quantum technology would touch every aspect of human life, from science and industry to education and entertainment. The challenges would be formidable, but the rewards could be extraordinary. Ultimately, the world would be shaped not only by the power of quantum computation, but by the choices we make in harnessing it. The future, once uncertain, would unfold with new clarity, offering opportunities to build a more intelligent, connected, and compassionate society.